welcome to episode 2 of the devlog series for the Blackridge State Corrections RP. I'll explain why this character doesn't have any clothes on shortly. So this episode is going to be all about the inventory. I've been working on this for the last 3 days. It's been a lot of a process, but I think it's finally at a point where I can kind of move on for other parts of the server and get different scripts set up and things like that, and have a good baseline for the inventory script when we're starting out. So I'm trying to make it more fitting for a prison RP sort of section. So this was my main current character that I had for the only RP. I don't know if I'm going to keep this character, or if I'm going to keep the characters I kind of had planned for that, or not, or if I'm going to bring back some other ones. But so something happened with testing, and I need to figure out if it's going to be a thing that's going to happen more often or what caused it. But so I was on my main character, I did slash log out, and I wanted to go to my female character for testing clothing, and well, it messed up, and I have a female body, but my head's the same. So kind of one of those little funny little unique things that happen. But I haven't have it. It hasn't happened again, so I don't know what happened there. So we'll just get through all this. And here is the current UI setup for the inventory. Don't know if this is going to stay the same or not, because in the Discord the other day I was sharing kind of work I was doing, and originally I had like something like this. I was trying to get like a preview for the ped to be in between this box, but it wasn't working. And I kind of had this UI design, and then that's just the same design, just customization. But something happened with the code with that UI design, and I wanted to change some things up and just kind of just stop working, and it wasn't usable anymore, so I had to restart the UI design all over again. So some of the elements are still there, but it's a little different. So clothing is an item. This has taken me a little bit while to set up, but luckily we're only going to be doing our add-on clothing that's going to be covered for the Department of Corrections and the inmate clothing. I did get a few GTA online clothing made into clothing items, so that way we have like shirts, so you don't have to wear the inmate shirt, you can wear just a regular t-shirt, things like that. And then of course I had to get like the prison shoes. Eventually I'll probably keep adding more to the whole clothing as an item. This takes a lot of work and time to set up making this clothing work, and I see why a lot of inventories and people just kind of scrap the idea of the whole clothing being an item. But for the small little setting we need in the small little amount of clothing, it's not anything too difficult to do for what we need. So got all the different sections for clothing, so this way people can steal clothing off of people, steal an inmate's, or an inmate can steal a guard's clothing, and so forth. And kind of seeing the background as it just all the jackets work. I was in the process of testing all the clothing before I wanted to do the UI changes and make these clothing slots. So I'm not fully done with getting the clothing set up, but kind of need the inventory to be working and set up the way I want it to be, so before I can continue the clothing. So that's all there. And like I said, you can see the apply. So I'm going to take off the shirt, and you see the hidden boxes right here go from being grayed out to being active. Same with the pants and the shoes. When the clothing's fully off, the character models will never be fully naked. They will have some sort of undergarments on, and there's no way to fully remove that and be completely naked. We're not that kind of server, so don't have to worry about that. We're going to be streamer friendly and not have any issues when it comes to that. But the hidden slots become active. So the purpose of like the hidden slots is I wanted inventory slots where the inmates can hide contraband and not be detected when like an officer searches the person. Because most of the time when you're being searched, you're going to have your shirt and pants and shoes on. The only time you're going to have all that turned off is, you know, taken off is when you're being strip searched. So I wanted to give that kind of, I guess, an illusion, feature. I don't really know what to really call it, but just so that way we had that. So that way it's just not, oh, open up your inventory, oh, here's everything, here's your drugs and all the your shank and all your little just contraband items. That way you have slots to hide it, which you can drag items into these slots when they're grayed out like that. See, these boxes actually stay grayed out because they're supposed to stay grayed. When an officer searches you, they're supposed to be just this blank box, so you can't see anything in there. So when I get somebody on another dev to help me test this, I want to make sure that it stays like this, because I want these boxes to remain like this unless the jacket or the pants or even the shoes, if it's going to be a full strip search, is gone, and then you will see the item in those slots. So put all that back on. As you see, like with clothing, there's a white diamond, and then you have all the different color diamonds. So we're working on like a rarity sort of system for different items and things to make items more valuable, and you'll get more resources, things out of them. Weapons won't really have it. I was just testing because it gave me the option to have weapons as a rarity, but don't really think weapons are going to have the rarity. This is more going to be for like crafting materials and getting ore and things like that, to make it where you get more out of that material than just a one-for-one sort of thing. But that's kind of just the idea behind the whole rarity thing. Don't really know how far I'm going to go into it and set it up for a prison. The plan is just have the prison sim kind of be like the start and the foundation, and we build off of it and add more to the outside of the prison map, so we can actually have more of an RP server and not just a, this is it, we're just a prison serve, that's all we have is just a prison. Because there's going to be outside activities to do while in prison anyways, but it's kind of just leaving little foundation points to build off of when that time comes. Settings kind of have some settings, not a whole lot, not entirely what I wanted to have, but got a couple just random themes there. But under custom though, you can sit here and pick any color you want. Honestly, I don't really know what accents does, but border, of course, is going to change the border of the boxes around, and then the dot border is that what's down there. And then text, of course, you can change the text to whatever you want it to be. You got background transparency, so that way you can make it where you can see more in the background, or if you don't want to see anything at all. Same with the panels, where you can make it where you can see through them a little bit, and then same with the slot. So kind of make it where you can have a little bit of customability for the inventory. Streamer mode doesn't really do a whole lot right now. It just more or less just hides your inventory slots and things like that. Eventually it's probably going to sit there and change the name to make it just where it just says inventory, things like that. Maybe just other little like streamer friendly little things where people just can't get a whole lot of information from you. Hiding the boxes doesn't really do a whole lot. That's just currently how the script is for the streamer friendly. I did change the keybind, so instead of doing control click, it's just alt now, because with control you were actually crouching, your character kept on crouching, so it didn't, so when this was open it didn't stop your character from doing weird activities. But if you set something up and you don't like it, the reset button will send it all back to the default. You just click save. So when the inventory is open, you can move around. and things like that. Use, give, all that's up there. Still can copy serial number. And alright, that should wrap up this video. It was a kind of just a short, quick little video just on the inventory. Don't really have a whole lot to really share. But as I set up a script and kind of get it tailored to what we need for the server, I'm going to be just making a video on that and just sharing that and just showing it off. As I do things as well, I keep posting in the Discord little teasers and just to share with the community as things just change and what's kind of being worked on to keep everyone in the loop the best I can / we can. I'm going to go back to work, and thank you for watching this video, and I'll catch you in the next devlog.